Hello and welcome. This is Gray Hughes of Gray Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Yeah, guess I was way down there on the screen. Oh, how's everybody doing? Got my massage thing going again. Works pretty good. Yeah, I'm not really even sure how to take it when you get an email like that. You know, just like this person said, "Hey Gray, love seeing your latest guest appearance on Court TV. I hope you will take this moment and turn it into something positive." Like what? What does that even mean? I always wish you the best, but you always seem to undermine yourself. I hope you will take this moment and turn it into... Oh wait, you always seem to undermine yourself. And then it said, one day I hope you see that fans just need you to treat us with respect, like other successful YouTube creators treat their fan base. Just provide good content, don't berate your fans, and we'll stick around and financially support. It's like, what? Where the hell are you coming from? I mean, I don't sit here and berate everybody. You know, if somebody has a crazy idea, I might say, wow, that's ridiculous. You know, maybe I do that for the, when the people call in, you know, like trolls or whatever, but that's wild, man. Absolutely wild. That's still the old picture of the dogs there. It's not updated yet. I don't know if you guys would be interested. I was going to maybe, in the Delphi case, remember that there was a hearing. And this is the one that changed everything around. But I also did a whole bunch of work on the, Rex Heuermann, the older cases that might be associated with him. And one thing I thought was really weird that I found today on Ben Verified with Rex Heuermann is that right, yeah, I don't know what people are thinking. I don't know how to, you know, I just am who I am, you know. That's it. But I know tonight's a later show, but it's just like any other night. I'm just getting in from a week away at the beach. Hope all has been well with your fun. Well, I mean, on my channel, yeah, I mean, it's been okay. You know, nothing amazing. I got lucky with one video that did better than the others, but. We're allergic. Yeah, this is the Herb Baumeister. I mean, I was going to do a show where we go over the bodies that were found at his place. But also today with Heuermann, they on Ben Verified, there's a address on, or not an address, an email address that's from, it had this lady's name on it. It was just a lady's name, but it was listed as his. But then I typed her name on Ben Verified and I found her, and it was her email address too. So how did he get her email address? And it was a African American lady, had a criminal background a little bit. But how did he have her email under his account? I don't know. Pretty weird. Yeah, and he had 23 emails in his account. Pretty weird stuff, really. And I actually, I looked her up, and it's the same email address. And I don't know. She's from Pennsylvania. I'm just trying to figure out. There's got to be a connection there somehow. I mean, how did her email get under his account? Was he using it? But yeah. So I don't know, you want to go over those older cases that might be associated with them? I spent more time on some of those with Rex Heuermann, and then I'm going to make a video using the same information because, videos are shorter and people will like to digest that information. But we're doing another show here, you guys, so if you can help support the channel tonight, that would be great. We're at 0 currently, and we need to get moving. Well, of course, he's related to Valerie Mack. Yeah, they actually mentioned her name in the last article or document, so of course, that's going to be the next one. Every single body on Gilgo Beach is one of his. I said that since the beginning. It's one of those things like, what are the odds? I know that there was a few other serial killers, active around the same area, but I think Heuermann is going to end up being one of the worst serial killers in U.S. history. I think there's way more, and there's other body dump sites that just haven't been discovered yet. Yep. Darn it, my massage thing fell off. It was working so good, too. Yeah. I'll just not use it for a while. I don't know, Chris. I'm just going to do what I'm doing. I have no idea. And he's not. Every serial killer isn't Rex Heuermann now. Okay, so he was born. I think it was September. What? Hold on. Let me open it up again. I know it was 63 or 4. I can't remember now which one it was. Or November. Hold on a second. September 63. Okay. Well, we're still at 0, you guys. Still at 0. Not a good start. Yeah, so I got everything And look at all these pins in here. It's crazy. Just a lot of stuff. I think if you take the roads off, you can actually see it better. See? Look at that. A lot of stuff going on in there. Hey, thanks, Paulette Leonard. It's something. There we go. Something came in. I think I have him at. This will be 18 years old. This first one here. And don't know anything, but here's what I got on it. So this one is Janice Fullam, excuse me. Fullam. I'll just keep it the way I had it. Like that. And she's Janice Fullam, 5'5", weighed 120 pounds, brown hair, hazel eyes, missing since Friday, October 30th, 1981. She had a naive, trusting nature and often hitchhiked. And so the thing is, the way I'm looking at Heuermann is somebody who evolved as a serial killer over the years. That's why he took those notes. He had those notes because he erred on other occasions or felt like it wasn't good enough and then changed up what he would do on the next one. That's why he had the notes. Okay? She had a naive, trusting nature, and I think he, as I've said before, hitchhikers used to be the prey of serial killers because they could just drive down the road, pick up somebody, and they're in their car, now they control them and then kill them. And sex workers are about the only people after about 1990. I mean, there was very few people still hitchhiking. And, you know, you had to rely on the sex workers because they'd still get into your car. So she was missing since Friday, October 30th, 1981. She had a naive, trusting nature and often hitchhiked. Left all her belongings at home, had been arrested for selling acid at the age of 17. Let's see. Hold on a second. I gotta pull this out. I think I forgot to put out her age on this one. I'm gonna use this time to edit and get it ready for tomorrow. Started well for 17 years. The day started well for a 17-year-old. So she's only 17, I guess. No, I thought she was 22. Hold on, let me go back to a different one. Then Janice Fullam disappeared. I thought she was October 1981. No, she was only 17. Okay. And so he would have been 18. All right, let's just you know, look at these as if they could be, you know, his victims. So it says Janice Fullam, 17 years old, 5'5", 120 pounds, brown hair, hazel eyes, missing since Friday, October 30th, 1981. She had a naive, trusting nature and often hitchhiked, left all her belongings at home, had been arrested for selling acid at the age of 17, so I guess that's what she is now. She had just found out she had got a part-time job as a waitress and was happy. Like she was about to get a part-time job, right? Janice called her mother at 6:30 p.m. to tell her about it. Janice left her home on October 30th at 9:30 p.m. And around the around the corner of, she went around, should be the word corner, p.m. and went around the corner to the home of Liz Salmon, or Salmon, I guess, or Solomon, a close friend. Liz told her she was going to stay home. Janice then went to the King Colin Hoppin Center, or shopping center, not Hoppin, Jesus. The King Colin Shopping Center, let me get the G in there, which was one of the hangout spots. She stayed at the mall for a while, then went to meet her brother Jimmy, who was supposed to be meeting friends at another shopping center, but she was unable to find Jimmy, her brother. Janice then went back to her friend Liz's house at 10:45 p.m. Liz again told Janice she didn't feel like hanging out, so Janice headed back out to find her brother and has never been seen since. And so you can just imagine that there was like hitchhiking going on here. This thing, Janice Fullam. There, right there. So it's right around, and you know, it's all on Long Island over here. So she lived right around in this area here. This is the King Cullen Mall that she went to. And then she went to another mall, probably, you know, maybe this area over here or something, looking for her brother, and then couldn't find him, so went back to her friend's house. And then, she went back out to look for her brother, but while looking for her brother, that's when she disappeared. Hey, thanks, Jessica Schubach, Wendy Rokel, Michelle H., Brennis Bratt, and MM. My favorite, Reading Wave. Well, it's not completely just reading. These are just... So this lady here has never been found. Yeah. And let's see what this one said. Yeah, that's her right there. They got to her friend's house. The next morning, Janice's family quickly realized that she was missing when they couldn't find her in their house. Janice has not been seen or heard from since. So, I mean, let me just say this. Do you guys think it's even remotely possible that all the bodies of Rex Heuermann have been found? I mean, I think that'd be like incredibly unlikely that every single body of his victims have been found. I don't think so. I think he's in the dozens, like over 25, 30, 40. I bet you it's a massive number given the fact that he was still, you know, doing stuff with his cell phone, you know, the burner phones, meeting up with people. All right, so that's one. Then Tina Foglia. That sounds like Italian where you say, forget about it. Foglia. Forget about it. All right, here we go. This is hers. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. So this is her. She's 5'2" and 180 pounds. That's heavier than normal. But again, this is back, you know, she's 19 years old, this lady. And Heuermann would be 18 and a half about right now. So Tina's body was identified on February 5th, 1982. Last seen on February 1st, 1982. She left home to hang out at a West Islip Rock nightclub. One of her friends was in the band playing that night. She had to hitchhike for a ride there and back since her family didn't have a car. So again, we have the hitchhiking element here. Somebody probably cruising around at night, finding different people that are trying to hitchhike. She made it to the nightclub, and the name of it was called Hammerheads, probably a heavy metal band, and left sometime around 3:30 a.m. Monday by herself. Tina's found on February 3rd, 1982 at 10 a.m. by highway workers who were picking up garbage. The garbage they picked up contained a head and naked torso, arms, and legs of a young white female. One arm and one leg were stuffed in each of the two bags, and the head and torso still connected in a third bag. So that means so one arm and one leg were in two different bags, and then the head and the torso still connected were in another bag. The body was found on the east side of Sacticos Parkway near westbound lane of Southern Parkway. All right, here we go. So this is where her body was found, right around in this area. And so again, I mean, just look where it's kind of related to everything. I mean, Rex Heuermann lived right there, okay? Amber Costello's situation was right there. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, Tina Foglia lived right there in this house, actually, so we could probably just go down there. I don't know, there's no street. Oh, there is. Okay. So I think that house might have been the one just next to it, but looks like maybe that one. Thanks, Yabba Dabba Doo, Esther M, and Pancakes. I think that one there fits a lot of the elements, right? But again, it's a hitchhiker, not a sex worker. Because back then, I mean, it could even be, he didn't have the money either as a kid, so, but the thing is like I said before, people are willing to get into your car. So I think that's definitely what we have going on there. And this is her, just a picture of her right there. Nope, let me get that off. All right. So let me get back, open that up again. Garbage they picked up contained a head and naked torso. So that's where she was found, and she also, let's see, I have her living there, but I also had her living, I guess, over here at one point too. So let's see what this article said. Yeah, here's an actual picture of the area here. I guess she was just kind of found in the road here. Okay, I'm trying to find that spot. I want to make sure I got the right address here. 15, oh yeah, so she lived on 15 Lloyd Avenue. So let's go there, and I'll get rid of the other one. I don't want two different ones. Okay, so it's not that one. It's that one right there. Okay. So let's get rid of the other. Right there. Okay. So what do you guys think of that one? Doesn't that sound similar? The plastic bags. Here's what I think. I think he used plastic bags when he was younger. And then later he switched to burlap because the decomposition just, I would believe, would be much quicker given the fact that air and water and the elements could get through the burlap into the inside of a plastic bag. I think it would have a preserving element to that where it would keep the, preserve the body inside more than he would like. So, just throwing this out there. Ding 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 see. Hey, thank you so much, Donna D. Absolutely great. Man, I can't even imagine how many victims are. Yeah, I just, man. I think there's a ton of them. So basically, so in this case, he cut off the arm and leg and put it in one bag, and then cut off the other arm and leg, put it in one bag, and then kept the torso and head in another bag and just put it there on the road. And then the cleaning people picked it up. I guess it was off to the side a little bit. But I mean, look where Rex Heuermann lives, and then all these pins in here. I mean, he even goes kind of far away over here, right? Like here's where Sandra Castillo was. So she's way out there, but look at all these other, every single one of the other ones that we're talking about are on this Long Island right here. Every one of them. So we're going to the, this one's name is Cheryl Guida, and she is March 18th, 1982. And so Cheryl Guida, 22 years old, 20 years of age. She's a sex worker, so now we even have a sex worker and a drug addict. She was stripped naked and strangled. There's no dismemberment on this one, though. Body found just before 8 p.m. on March 18th, 1982. She was last seen at 6 p.m. at the Hotel Clement at 6 p.m. And the police went around and asked the different sex workers that were in the area, and they said, yeah, we saw her there at about 6 p.m. And it says less than 2 hours before her body was discovered. So she was seen at the hotel at 6, and then less than 2 hours later, her body's already being discovered. The autopsy showed she had eaten meat, cheese, and French fries, probably at a fast food restaurant. Other sex workers mentioned a John that would harass her, dumped from a moving vehicle on Neptune Avenue near 23rd Street. And this is just has where she was dumped here. So she was dumped right here, kind of in like this, it looks like right in this spot there. Somewhere, somewhere where there was brush, and that's the only spot that has that in that area. That's the intersection right there. That's kind of not really as secluded of a spot, but maybe at night, look at this, looks like kind of a really crappy, what is this place? Oh yeah, wow, look, is that one of those garden places where you have like a local, a community garden? Jeez. Don't know what it was in I guess we could go back in time a little bit and see what it might have looked like back in 1994 even. Don't know if that was a community garden back then. Yeah, this was an article about it. Yeah, so I'm just gonna keep moving through these. So the next one is Kelly Morrissey, Morrissey, Morrissey. And here's this one. So Kelly Morrissey, this is on, doesn't look like I have a date on there. June 12th, 1984. I'll put that in there. June 12th, 1984. Blonde hair, hazel eyes. She was 5'6", 130 pounds, 15 years. She's only 15 years of age, this one now. Blonde hair, hazel eyes. Last seen 9:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. when she left the home of a friend on Merrick Road near her home in Fenmore. She was seen heading west on Earl Avenue and Merrick Road. The Charlie Project states she had laid out the clothes she was planning to wear for the next day. She never picked up her last paycheck, and she left all her money and personal belongings behind. Kelly had been experimenting with alcohol prior to her disappearance, was associated with older men, and sometimes broke her curfew, but her loved ones say she was no more rebellious than most teenagers. A friend of hers, Teresa Fusco, disappeared on November 10th. I mean, so I don't know if, let's see. Yeah, so we haven't discussed her yet, but I just mentioned that her friend actually disappears on November 10th later, and her name is Teresa Fusco, which is pretty crazy, right? I don't think Rex Heuermann was after her on the Shannon Gilbert 911 call. You actually hear her John, and you hear her pimp in the background, and she just kind of. I mean, if there was another person, I think we would have, the John would have said, "Oh yeah, what are you doing here, man?" Nothing. It was just. Do you think Shannon Gilbert? I don't. I think Shannon Gilbert, it's amazing because it just happened to be that the search for her led to the discovery. I mean, I wouldn't be absolutely shocked if she's somehow connected at some point. Her attorney seems to try to keep making that connection. I just don't. I haven't seen anything that makes me think that. Yeah, she seemed like she was really paranoid and just kind of. And everybody's like, "What are you doing? What's going on? It's kind of bizarre that it took so many years to get that 911 call released. There's nothing crazy. I mean, other than just, she sounded like she was freaking out about something. She definitely seemed like she was on some sort of drug. This one's pretty young, but, she would hang out with older people, so maybe she looked older. I mean, what are the odds of that, Sarah? What if he found her walking out there? I mean, that would be like 1 in a billion. I mean, he doesn't just lurk around. He plots and plans all of his murders, So he's not just going to be driving around by the, I don't know what you call it. I don't, they can say her drug screen was negative. We're talking. They didn't find her for a long time. If there was no drugs in her, then there was something wrong with her. Okay, because you could hear it. Nothing sounded normal on that 911 call. Ding, 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 ding. Yep. Sister was schizophrenic as well. Right, yeah, so maybe she just had a mental problem. That's right. I can't remember. Is she the one that had the sister that killed her mom? Oh, yeah, that's what Sarah just typed in. So doesn't that make it sound like, she had some mental issues going on? I mean, I think the way the circumstances were, it seems very unlikely that Rex Heuermann was part of that. He was a meticulously planning serial killer, and she was kind of found in a place that you wouldn't even want to go walk into. Like that she got stuck in there. And I don't believe Dr. Baden is one of those guys that, he was, believe it or not, he was actually the medical examiner in the area. And now he's a hired gun for family members that come in, and just about every single time, if you pay him just enough, all of a sudden he starts seeing things that, that aren't really, just kind of a little bit of a twisty kind of a manipulation, interpretation. I didn't think of that at all, Tanya. Didn't feel like that at all. She seemed like she was just kind of paranoid as hell for nothing. But hey, you guys, we're on one of those lulls, so if you're out there and you can help support the channel, that'd be great. We're at 20% currently. Let's see. Moving on to... So now, this is the one that she knew. Teresa Fusco, that's a picture of her right there. Hey, thanks, E. Moore. Teresa Fusco was 5'3", 104 pounds. That sounds like exactly a Heuermann type. Last seen about 10 p.m. as she left the roller skating rink in tears after being fired. Let me get, how old is she? Hold on a second. Search for 16-year-old member girl of 6. Yeah, so she's only 16. So, the age here might make a difference, but not really when you consider Heuermann himself at the time would have been like 20 to 21 years old. Thank you. She worked at the rink one night a week at the hot... Okay, so it says, she went missing on November 10th, 1984, last seen about 10 p.m. as she left the roller skating rink in tears after being fired. She worked at the rink one night a week at the Hot Skate snack bar. Teresa was very scared after her friend Kelly, the one that, let's see, Kelly Morrissey that we just talked about, after she was found murdered. By the way, let me go back. Let me go to Morrissey here and show you the spot. This is her home here. Thank you, Kami. That's where she lived at the time. And she was last seen walking on Earl and Merrick. Oh, my stomach's just going nuts on me. So Merrick and Earl Street, but she was heading this direction. So this is Merrick and Earl Street, but she's heading west, so she couldn't have been, she's not on the northbound Earl Street there. So that's where she was seen last, and you just pull that up and it's just right in sort of the middle of everything again. Maybe a little bit on the edge of the Heuermann area, but he just lives right there, just different. It just seems like this whole area here is in play, especially since he went all the way out there. That means, you could add in stuff down in there if you wanted to. All right, so anyways, let's do that again. So the body was found, she worked at the rink one night a week at the Hot Skate snack bar. Teresa was very scared after her friend Kelly went missing in June. She would always call her mother to tell her of her plans. The body was found on December 5th, 1984. So she went missing on November 10th by 2 youths at 4:15 p.m. She was nude. The body was buried beneath leaves and a wooden pallet. See, this sort of sounds like him. This kind of stuff he would do. In a wooded area near the Long Island Railroad tracks. She was found between, let's see, Rockland Avenue and Park Place. Bruises on her torso. She was strangled with a rope or a wire or something, some similar object, and no weapon was found. And let's do this. So here's where Teresa lived. Now look at this. This is right down in that area. Right? I mean, this is right in there. And very near, you know, Kelly was last seen right there. Teresa lived in this house. Right there. And the skating rink that she was at was right here. It has a different name now. I mean, I didn't even realize there were still skating rinks out there. But she lived right there. There's a skating rink. And look where she was found. Look at the quick, you know, really small area here. Okay, so they said that she was found on, so I don't know if you can see the pins, but let me make these different color maybe. They're easier to see when they were green, I think. Yeah. Okay. It's still not that great, but you can kind of see him right there, here, and here. Lived here, skating rink there, left crying, and is found dead right here. You know, who in the hell knows what happened? I mean, that's just crazy. You know, and so this one seems less likely, I guess you could say. That'd be Rex Heuermann. I mean, what are the odds? I could see if she was hitchhiking, but I don't even know if you'd have to hitchhike to get home here. I mean, that's just a small walk. You basically just walk from there, walk across the crosswalk, go straight down, and hell, you just turn right there and you're home. I'm not even sure that's even a half mile. I mean, let's see. Got it there, through. And that distance is 0.4 miles, not even a half mile. And they did say on there that it was between, strangled with rope, but it was also, she was found between Rockland Avenue and Park Place. So, let's see. I believe, let me put roads back on. That's Park Place right there. And then Rockland is right here. So, in between there, and that's why I have it right there. Yeah, so in between there. So somewhere in these bushes over here is where she was found. I mean, it's just crazy, like hiding in plain sight, right? On a railroad track. Who the hell walks that out on those? Thank you, Donna D. Hello, Ashley Hansen. Wendy Van Rokel. Lil Puppy Paws. Timothy Cecil. Richard Watts. JJ. Laura Stone. Jessica Schubach, Michelle H., Wendy Van Rokel, Lion Man, Esther M., Timothy Cecil. Yeah. If I missed you, sorry. Gray, that's not cool. You got to read everybody. All right, we're moving on to another one. Jacqueline Martarella. This is 1985, so Rex Heuermann at this time would be 20, almost 22. It's April. His birthday's in September, I think. So, thank you, JJ. My theory is there is multiple serial killers. We already know that. No. I don't think they do group hunts. That's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, I think serial killers there was 3 other ones in there. But this is what you got to picture is Rex Heuermann didn't just start doing this. We have the 1993 one now. So now we're moving him backwards. When did he start? Could he have started when he was 18, 19, 20, killing people? Then over the years he developed a better techniques and skills to try to, hide the bodies, etc., etc., etc. We don't know. This is all in his area, though. Group hunts. Come on. There was these guys were arrested for, I think it was, let me open up hers again, hold on. Now, there's 3 guys who were arrested for 3 of these different murders, and they were in prison for like 20 years, and they were all exonerated because the DNA that they once claimed by visually comparing, or hairs actually, visually comparing, turns out they weren't from the victims at all, and they got like huge settlements too. So that's why 3 of these are open. Oh, you saw me get on there, Ashley? What? So did they just post that or something, or what? I mean, I was on the show last, I don't know, what was it, Thursday or... You're the 3rd person that mentioned it. Yeah, sometimes I get like this really short segment like that. I'm not sure if they even needed me, really. I'd like to have a segment where we're talking about something. But man, you gotta admit, that's pretty weird. Rex Heuermann, I looked up on Ben Verified. I got all of his email addresses that are on there, and I was putting them into that software, that one website that I have. But what was strange is one of the emails that are associated with him had a totally different name, and the last name of the lady was Bundy, by the way. But it was like, it's a real person. I looked her up on Ben Verified too. And she has the same email address. Why the hell does he have listed under his Ben Verified an email address that is somebody else's? The exact same one. And she lives in Pennsylvania, and she was a black lady, and I don't know what, that's just something's kind of weird about that. I sent that lady an email and asked her, do you know Rex Heuermann? I want to see what she says. But most of the time they don't respond to stuff like that. So anyways, the body was found December 5th, 1984 by 2 youths at 4:15. The nude body buried beneath leaves in a wooden pallet in a wooded area near the Long Island Railroad tracks, found between Rockland Avenue and Park Place. She had bruises on her torso, strangled with a rope, wire, or similar object. So that was very similar to the last one. Okay, now we're on Jacqueline Martarella. I don't really know much about his uncle. I didn't get to watch the video fully all the way through that you sent. So this is her, Jacqueline Martarella. And she's missing since March 26, 1985. So she went missing on March 26, 1985. And she was 19 years old, 4'11", 95 pounds. That's right in Heuermann's ballpark there. And Heuermann would be 21 and a half or so. She was 19. Light brown hair, brown eyes. Last seen leaving a friend's house on East Lexington Avenue at around 7:30 p.m. Stepmother said that she was heading to Burger King, where she worked on Long Beach Road, but never arrived. She was supposed to be there at 8 p.m. The body was discovered at 10 a.m. at the Woodmere Club golf course by Michael Casella, a 69-year-old man that often looks for golf balls, and it's also closed on Mondays. Jacqueline was strangled, possibly with a piece of wire or rope. See, again, that sounds similar, doesn't it? So that could be a whole different killer, or him, just learning his craft at the time. Yeah, but it's just the pimp and the guy. No. I mean, there wasn't others there. It was the pimp and the John. And it's been talked about he likes to hunt, and what if they call a worker out to a rural location late at night and hunt? And I don't know. The hunting means like he's looking for his next victim. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, anything's possible. No, I don't know. I can't tell you. Yeah, anything's possible, I guess. Yeah. I mean, aliens could have done it too. We just don't know at this point. John Kogut, Dennis Hulst. Let's see. She was supposed to be there at 8 p.m. to the Burger King. And the body was discovered by, Michael Casella, a guy that collects golf balls at the golf course. Jacqueline was strangled, possibly with a piece of wire or rope. John Kogut, Dennis Halstead, and John Restivo were all convicted of the murder of Teresa Fusco, okay? And they thought these other two were connected. All were exonerated in 2003 and 2005 for her murder. Based on new DNA testing, all three cases are not solved. So the other cases that were connected or have not been solved, or they didn't connect them, they just thought maybe he did those two, and it was in a group. No. Isn't that funny? The one that they said that these were like a pack of guys in this one, but they were all exonerated. So. Yeah, it feels like people like John Ray, they're just out there kind of trying to create, they sort of do a disservice a little bit to the true crime element. I mean, I'm sure the family feels great that they finally got the 911 call and things like that, but, just kind of jumping in and throwing out all this stuff, trying to make it seem like Heuermann's involved. I think it's a little irresponsible. He's not given any information that would just directly make you go, yo, God, yeah, Heuermann was there. I mean, it's crazy, right? That she's out there doing one of her tricks and she dies and disappears and dies, and then in the search for her, they land upon all these other bodies and lead to, like, for example, if she had never went missing, those other girls likely never would have been found. And that's my opinion. I just think nobody's going to be stumbling around. There was no more odor anymore. You'd have to be walking in a crazy area. And I think they actually changed the area because of the murders. That's why they put that extra little road in there. That's what I think. Yeah, Shannon Gilbert is the reason they cracked the case, even though she didn't know that she was cracking a case. Exactly. Thanks, Richard Watts. Yeah. Just going through these. Did I finish this one? Oh, yeah. Okay, so now we're moving on to Gwendolyn Lukes. This is 1985, September. So it's interesting, the dates of all the ones we're doing now, they're all within this small time frame of like 4 years. So perhaps there was another serial killer, or it was him at the beginning of his reign. I mean, there was 4 serial killers in the area, including him. So here's this Gwendolyn Lukes. Not a lot on there, but she lived at 100 Terrace Avenue. By the way, let me see that last one before we get to that. Jacqueline Yeah, we didn't go through the spots here. All right, so here's where she lived. Yeah, so she lived right here in these apartments, looks like. Obviously, those aren't houses. I mean, so she lived in these apartments, and then she worked at the Burger King, which is just right down the road. It's right here. So she worked at this Burger King. It's still there. Burger Kings pretty much don't disappear. Kind of like a McDonald's, you know. Once they're there for all humanity. I mean, when aliens land on the planet in 1,000 years, there's still going to be McDonald's arches. Well, thanks, Live Free or Die. So I have 2 different spots again for where her body was found. But she was found on, okay. I think this is my original one, but I think I was trying to narrow it down to like the 17th hole. I'm pretty sure this is it. Like this is 17, there's the green, then a bridge, and then 18 going into the clubhouse. That's usually how they do it. And this is the waterway, and I was just thinking maybe right around in this area. I don't know how the person got put out there, though. Yeah, I don't know how Martarella got put there. Thanks, Delaney. We're gonna have to go over that list again at the end. That list always makes me think of things. The list of all the prep stuff he was doing, there's a lot of stuff it implies in there. Oh, the goal monitor. I didn't think you guys really liked it when I put the goal monitor up there, but it's pretty low, as you can see. We're only at like we're not even at a third currently. So if you're out there and you want to help support the Grant Hughes Investigates YouTube channel, I would appreciate it. Thanks, Michelle H. Okay, now we're going to move to Gwendolyn Lukes. And hers is small here. It just says, lived at 100 Terrace Avenue in Hempstead, worked as a sex worker, so this is right in, and 5'5", 110 pounds. She was a black woman in her 20s. And you know, again, you guys, you notice how there isn't a lot to write about it? And again, this is a black lady. So the articles, there was hardly any. There was like one article that even mentioned her name. And that's why it's sort of frustrating sometimes. But you can see there's so little to say. She was in her 20s. The body was found in St. Patrick's Cemetery by the caretaker at 9:45. Placed behind a small stone tool shed, and she was strangled. And I'll show you where she lived. Lived right there. And those apartments. And then she was found way over here. What's this path I got here, though? What is this thing? Oh, interesting. I put that in the wrong. I don't even need it. Her body was found here at this cemetery. And what did they say behind? That wasn't it. Placed behind a small stone stool or stone tool shed. So I bet you that's back. I don't know. It looks like that's part of the house. I don't know. Do they have a street view in here? Oh, look at that. We can go right into the cemetery. I don't know where the tool shed is, but what do you mean, lady men? I don't know what you mean. I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, so I don't know where the shed is. But anyway, she was found near this cemetery right here. That's not what that is, right? That's a tree. But, yeah. Yeah, who knows? She was a sex worker, though. And this is... He's about 22 years old. Wouldn't that be weird if this was his birthday? Because it's September 14th, 1985. So just on the from above, see again how everything's kind of, there's where Charities was found over here, right leg there, Vergata right there. You know, it's just all again on Long Island here. Everything's right around the same place. And now we got Patricia Costello. But there's another Costello down here, I think, if I remember right. Yeah, Amber Costello right there. So this is another different Costello. Her body was found right here in this park somewhere near the stables that used to be there. So look where that is compared to all the rest of them. Right in there. And she lived on Vermont Street. And Vermont Street Avenue, I mean, is really small. Just goes from here to here. I don't know if it picks up again. I don't think so. No. So it is somewhere on the street. They didn't give the address in there. But the write-up on her says, which isn't a lot, 26 years old. So Heuermann would have been 22. Body found June 1st, 1986. So he'd be like almost 23, 3 months short of 23. June 1st, 1986, she was a topless dancer, so, you know, sex worker of sorts. And a lot of times topless dancers do other things. She was strangled to death. She was strangled at another location and then dumped. Her body was nude. Clothing was found nearby. One article of clothing was looped around her throat and draped over a low tree limb. The killer tried to make it look like it was a suicide by tying one end of the material that was around her neck to a tree. Welcome, E. Moore. That's the first new member tonight. Be nice if we got enough super chats in here where I could donate 5 memberships. But we're not even anywhere near it. Yeah. He's a pretty tall. I think he's like, what is he, 6'7" or 8" or something? Pretty tall guy. So that one could be. I mean, what happened? There's no information about like where she was. Let's see if we can find anything. So topless dancer strangled. Shore found about 5 p.m. by horseback riders 200 feet from the shore of Great South Bay in Islip. Long Island murder is linked by coincidence. The strangled body of Patricia Costello, 26, of Bay Shore, is found Sunday in a wooded area. Oh, this is kind of interesting. Of Heckscher State Park in Suffolk County. Shortly before midnight Sunday, however, Ralph Garofalo got up from his dinner to answer the door of a Nesconset home he leased and was shot more than twice with a small caliber handgun. On Tuesday, detectives were interviewing anyone who knew Garofalo or Miss Costello, Scanlon said. Like he actually organized dancers, I guess. What does it say here? Oh yeah, it says, the same day murders of a topless dancer and 560-pound man who once booked dancers at go-go bars. So he was killed like the next day. And this is her. That's Costello right there. Patricia Costello. Right, we know, Gene. We just said that at the beginning of the show. They're just like hitchhikers. Hitchhikers were once the people that were the victims of serial killers. And now the victims are sex workers because they're the only people that are still willing to get into your car or meet you as a complete stranger where you get to control them. Hitchhikers, that's why it was so dangerous for hitchhikers. It was just absolutely ridiculous. I bet you, I want to know what the numbers are for how many hitchhikers were killed by serial killers. I bet it's over 100. I bet it's like 100 to 200. It's ridiculous. I mean, I think every single Ed Kemper death was one of those. You guys want me? I'll just take off the goal here. It's not doing anything. All right, Valerie Cleveland is the next one. Right here. Thanks, Ivan. Ivan said, go freaks, Gray, I sent you an email just a bit ago of a missing woman in our community who's been gone a month. Yeah, if I have time to look at it, I'll check it out. I got so much crap I'm working on. Hey, thank you, Peter. All right. So I got us up to 40% of the goal just on that right there. So Valerie Cleveland, 21-year-old sex worker also. This body was discovered August 6, 1986. So, you know, Heuermann at this point is almost 23. The body was found at 6:40 a.m. by Anthony Matuza, who was following up on reports of a foul odor near the fourth tee, another golf course one. I found that sort of interesting. Medical examiners said she was dead less than a week, nearly nude body, only had a jacket on, found near evergreen shrubs at the Hempstead golf course, and it was foul odor near the fourth tee. So here's where Valerie lived, right here. I think it was in that one. That looks familiar. not the greatest place in the world. Then her body was found over here in this golf course on the 4th hole by the tee, and look, there's the shrubs right there. Obviously it wasn't under there, that's a tree that's groomed there, but she was found right here and sort of tucked underneath the shrubs right there. Isn't that wild? So somewhere right inside there. This is the tee box for the next hole. I think that's probably the 3rd hole green right there, and then this is the tee box for the 4th. I actually have the map of it. I mean, this is what I do. I mean, I actually go out and try to find this kind of crap, you know. So I found it's not rotated correctly, but if you look at it like that, and then, you know, maybe, oh yeah, so I think if you rotated it almost like that, yeah, that should be exactly right. And then there's the 4th hole right there. The tee box is right there. So that means it's right on that little point that goes like that, and that's what this is. See? Right there. There's the tee box. Well, we don't know if these are his, Laura. These are ones that I'm, you know, putting out there. These have never been solved, and they're in the same exact area. I mean, look at this right here. Let me turn off roads again. I'm going to turn off roads and places and borders. I mean, look at this. All of these ones that we just talked about, all these pins in here are all unsolved, either missing or homicides on Long Island in here. And Rex Heuermann lives right in the middle of all of them. He lived right here and over here, and all of these deaths are in there. Now, you know, the earliest one is when he's 18. You know, was he starting off back then? It wouldn't shock me. You know, it's a little bit early for serial killers, but, you know, he was a big guy. Probably was sort of a bit of like an incel kind of, you know, I bet he was really not doing well. What you'd think the course would be locked up? I don't know. You can sneak in the golf courses easy. I used to do it when I was a kid. Right before it got dark, we'd sneak over and play 3 or 4 holes or something. And then there was one course in Eugene, Oregon. Here, I'll show you this. Way over here. I actually can remember the whole thing. Like, here's Eugene Country Club. God, it looks totally different. Like, so, let me see what it looked like back in 1990. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah. So Eugene Country Club, and I used to I'd ride a scooter. I almost feel like there was nothing in this area though when back then. Oh yeah, see, much less. Yeah, and I bet you back in 85 there might not have been anything. But see how there's not much here, but I would pull my scooter and there was a fence and I would sneak in there and go bass fishing in these ponds. And man, it was so ridiculous. They had like these massive bass in there. And then one day in the paper they said, hey, at the golf course they killed all the fish because there was a couple carp in there and these huge bass started floating to... I just was so angry. What a bunch of morons. Jesus. Anyways, that was a digression there. Yeah, and then there's the rest of them are ones that we've already talked about that I have in here. But I think we got to take another look at these again. So I think it's important to go over these because there's stuff in here. The fact that he has these lists, you've got to think to yourself, he needed the list because he made errors before, and you know, when he first started off, and he's seen the error, you know, he knows what the errors were, and so he's got these lists being built. I think this happened though. This is before, I think it's like Valerie Mack is about when I think this all happened. This list that they're looking at here. Because they have Mill Road right here. And this is where Valerie Mack and Jessica Taylor were found. She was found in 2003, so that's possible. All right, you guys, I'm going to have to start dancing a jig here in a minute. So look at it. The investigation to date has established the source of those notes. So they actually were able to find the source of the notes. So spur of the moment, cover, Stockholm Syndrome. The more you do, the more clues you give. Look at the painting. Page 162, sex substitution. Page 163. Page 175, mutilation. So that must be everything on that page. And then disorganized. Actually, that's the 1996 edition they mentioned right here. Oh, look at that MM. Are you throwing me in prison? Hey, man, that might help out if I get tossed in there. I'm just not sure what I did. You waited on Herb Baumeister at the age of 18. It was the Courtyard by Marriott. You never know who you'll run into. How do you know? You just remember his face or what? I mean, he looks like such a doofus, like a... So, MM, what are you throwing me in jail for? Just to help out. Five one? What? I don't get it. The Baumeister is a different case. Anna, I'm not sure what or Sarah, like that's not, it's not a Heuermann. She's talking about Baumeister. He was I think it was gay men that he killed. Yeah, I guess, MM. I don't know, it's just sort of like, shouldn't have to do that. Yes, no one wanted to wait on him. He was odd. Maybe he was on a list like Koberger. Yeah, I got on it was my Spree Honda scooter. They go like 30 miles an hour, and I would take it out there with a bucket between my legs and a fishing pole and went all the way. I would go there all the time. It was crazy. Oh, she was angry? Huh. It's wild. Anyways, right here it said, the investigation to date has established the source of the notes, Mindhunter paperback, authored by John Douglas, specifically the first edition published in 1996. So this is going to be, I bet this is around, you know, the time of the murders. Like Valerie Mack is 2000. And there's other, like Vergata's right around there. We don't know if that's one of his, but concerning the criminal profiling of serial killers. For example, the notes section of HK planning document includes, I think it's like Heuermann kill. I bet that's what that stands for. or, Heuermann kills. He doesn't put the S on there, though. But it's like, he knows what it means. Thanks, MN. Page 162 of the book does indeed reference sexual mutilation and masturbation over the victim's body, but no intercourse. The penetration with the umbrella and pen were acts of sexual substitution. So that's what that's the actual quote in the book. On page 163, Douglas opines that the perpetrator of such a crime, i.e. sex substitution, would be a disorganized killer who would be compulsive and perhaps living with his parents. Well, yeah, that's funny. Accordingly, but here's what I think, you guys. Why would he need to read this book? I think he read this book to have countermeasures and throw the police off. A serial killer wouldn't use a book. Like, oh yeah, let me see what Mindhunter. See, Mindhunter's the other side of the case. I think he is looking to see what law enforcement would be looking at and how he might be profiled and do things outside of that. Doesn't that make more sense, you guys? Doesn't it make more sense that he's trying to throw the police off by reading that book than, oh, I need some ideas on how to be a killer. Yeah. On page 163, Douglas opines that the perpetrator of such a crime, i.e. sex substitution, would be a disorganized killer, who would be compulsive and perhaps living with his parents. Accordingly, this notation contained in his HKP planning document is consistent with the aforementioned book in page number and subject matter. Now, one thing I want to point out already is, we'll go back to this. This is page 30. We'll go back to that in a minute. But look right here. I thought this was pretty interesting. Dispose of the following. Tools and devices, clothes, drop cloths, wipe, right here. Destroy book and computer files. Well, what book do you think that was? I bet you anything that is a specific book. It's not destroy books. It's referring to the Mindhunter book. Law enforcement was not able to find that book in his house, I guarantee it. And that's why they found the references by looking it up online, different wording. And look at that, destroy book and computer files. I bet you that's the Mindhunter book right here that he's trying to going to dispose of, so there's no link back to it. And giving away the fact that he's trying to do countermeasures. Yeah, I just explained it, sweet one. I just explained what the book was for. Let's see. I'm Victor. Yeah, true. Yeah. Yeah, probably just made a mistake when he bought the burner phone with the card. He forgot. I always like when people kind of repeat what you say. It's a compulsion for sure. No need to research it. I agree. Right. Well, it's not just that. It's that. Why would you read the Mindhunter book? That's the psychology of yourself. Like the Mindhunter book would be telling him what they're seeing in him, and what he's probably trying to do is do things that point away from him. Right? Like, he's a disorganized killer. Well, I bet you he's absolutely not disorganized whatsoever. So he was looking for things that made him seem like a disorganized individual, and etc. Taking the criminology course, learning how to... Yeah, exactly. Well, I was saying earlier, I bet he's killed over 25 people. I think dozens. I mean, they just happened to stumble upon one of his dump grounds, and maybe two with the Valerie Mack and Jessica Taylor area up there. And there was also two other bodies found up there. I think one of them was even a cross-dresser or something like that. So how do we know that that wasn't one of his victims too? You know, Heuermann, just, if you look at the list on the other document of things he searched, he was all over the place. Yeah, I mean, I just think it's a massive number. I think he might end up being, well, it'd be hard to beat that one guy, I can't remember his name, that black guy he's killed like 90 people or 80 people recently. I mean, it wasn't recently, but I think he was arrested not too long ago. And he drew pictures of them all, remember? Well, it's hard to just guess at an actual number, but hey, guys, how are we going to get the goal going tonight? Any possibility, guys? I think it'd be great. Gray's out there kicking some ass, doing the research, getting this shit together. Let's see. Yes, I agree. They might tie many to him. Specifically, the prep section has 5 entries. All right, let me see. Where are we at? Page. I think it was page 30 is where we were. Hey, thanks, Gnome Gnome. Any thought on his uncle or Alan? No, I don't. I don't have any thoughts on that. I haven't, like I said before, I haven't watched your video. I started to, but then I watched like the first 5 minutes, and then I just got on to doing what I needed to do to get ready for my show. I have hardly any free time to just leisurely, read like a 1,700 word email that somebody sends me or something like that. Hey, thanks, Lil Puppy Paws. Gray's doing a great job researching and mapping. Oh yeah, remember at the beginning. Well, I'm glad you didn't hear it because I wouldn't have got the super chat, right? No. Hey, I'm glad you didn't hear me say that earlier. Yeah! Woo! Now, who's Alan Packa? Don't know who that is. Who's Alan Packa? Anyway, thank you. We're just barely over half now. Almost over half. Alright, so this is where I gotta go find that Mindhunter part again. Yeah, so here it's in page 175 of the first edition Mindhunter book. Douglas describes a woman's screams and shortly thereafter how the woman's throat had been cut and her naked body mutilated. Douglas further asserts on page 175 of said book that mutilation is a sign of disorganized personality type. Accordingly, the notation contained in HK planning document is again consistent with the aforementioned book in page number and subject matter. The notes section of the HK planning document also contain the following notation. Look at the painting, what, why, who. On page 19 of said book, Douglas notes that while he was still at the FBI, he always advised his agents, if you want to understand the artist, the perpetrator, you have to look at the painting, the victim. We've looked at, and that's like victimology. We've looked at many paintings over the years and talked extensively to the most accomplished artists. Accordingly, the note above contained in, I guess the victim meaning how they were found, how they left them after they put their signature on them. Accordingly, the note above contained in Heuermann's laptop computer to look at the painting yet again points to the aforementioned book as the source of Heuermann's commentary. Finally, the other notations contained in the HK planning document: spur of the moment, cover, Stockholm Syndrome. The more you do, the more clues you get. So, maybe some of this, like on that part there, if he learned something, would be, don't ever just do something spur of the moment. But I think he mainly went over this to, like he knows who he is and wants to represent himself differently so that his victims, the way the painting looks, doesn't match the artist who he is. You know what I mean? Like he's an artist, but the painting doesn't match him as an artist. Anyways, the more you do, the more clues you give are also each contained in the said book, all pointing to the source of Heuermann's notations. Stockholm Syndrome is a psychological condition that explains why victims or hostages can sometimes develop a psychological bond of empathy for their captor. The foregoing is corroborated in part by Heuermann's possession of other serial books authored by John Douglas. During the initial search warrant execution in July of 2023 at Target residence, the task force observed that Heuermann possessed in his home office the book entitled The Cases That Haunt Us. See embedded image below, which outlines facts, evidence, and victimology of several notable serial murder cases. Man, that's such an awesome book to have on your coffee table, don't you think? No, I didn't paint his victim. Didn't you listen, Chicken Wing? It was like an analogy that John Douglas said. He said, think of the victims as the painting and the killer as the artist. He painted his victim? Come on. I believe the totality of circumstances surrounding the HK planning document, including Heuermann's attempt to delete its existence. Oh, well, let's see. Oh, yeah, he tried to delete it. That's right, they found it. Points to it as Heuermann's self-education and homework on the topic carrying out serial sexual murder. I think it's more... Mindhunter's more of a like the psychology behind it. He doesn't need to know what his psychology is. Heuermann pointed concerns regarding avoiding being, avoiding being captured on video surveillance, leaving behind forensic evidence, what supplies to purchase, how to package a body for subsequent transportation to dump sites, wash body inside, all cavities prior, etc. Remember, don't charge for gas. Concerns regarding noise and or air travel, which could inhibit playtime. Built several buildings for disabled children and hired Heuermann for architecture and is involved, lived in some sex trafficking ring in Florida. Well, let's see, building and disabled children and hired Heuermann for architecture and is, who knows if he's part of a bigger thing. Definitely possible. There, so let's do this part again. So let's see if we can think of stuff in here. So HK 2002. Oh, well, there's the date. So this one would be for Jessica Taylor. That's what this was. So Valerie Mack had already been killed at this point, but Mill Road still applies to Jessica Taylor. And that's not what it was about, Zozo. I just explained it, what the painting thing was. Yeah. Leonardo da Vinci. Okay, that was pretty good. Yeah. It's troubling that Costello was killed close to the anniversary of his father's death. There's also his wife and mother leaving, so compound triggers maybe. I don't know. When did his wife, which, do you mean his first wife, the 93 wife? When did his wife leave? Which one, what are you talking about? He's still with the one wife up until the time he was arrested. You're talking about the one prior, the 90, because in 93, the one wife left, right? And then he killed, oh yeah, you're talking about, I get it, okay, Costella. Yeah, there's Costello and Costilla. Yeah, Costello's the 93 one, so yeah, that might have been a stressor on that one. I see what you're saying. You don't have to feel dumb. You just missed the part that I was saying. No, what she said up there was he painted his victims, meaning I don't think you understood what she was talking about, Zozo, because you came in after what I was just saying. I was discussing the part in Mindhunters where they referred to the bodies as the painting of the killer, and the killer as being the artist. So there's the artist, then they leave the body however they leave him, and they become the canvas that has, of their work. Like there's the body there, it's the canvas, now it's filled with the art, however you left the body, posed it, whatever, that would be the painting. But yeah, I mean, I guess if he painted some of his victims, then maybe Chicken Wing was right just randomly. That's pretty funny. Well, if there's anybody that thinks Rex Heuermann is innocent is an absolutely dumb person, just like in the Brian Kohberger case. But that's here. Yeah, you ever see the same Kohberger people saying, "Hey, everybody, Heuermann's innocent till proven guilty. There's this one guy named Jim." Well, hey, we can use what was it up there by Gnome Gnome? We could say Alan Plaka. Sounds a little bit like Brent Kopaka, right? We could start throwing that in there and just kind of. Where are those people today? The Richard Allen types, the Brian Kohberger. Love to hear him. Tell me how Heuermann is innocent, where his hair was found at virtually, or his wife and his daughter's hair at every single crime scene. Oh, it was planted, everybody. It was planted. Ding, 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 ding. All right, anyways. So yeah, so 2002 to 2004, that would be, at the minimum, would be, well, that's interesting, isn't it? Because when were those two males found out there in terms of like what, he says Mill Road, and why does he put Megan for a target? Megan Waterman, I mean, was already talking to Megan Waterman even back in 2002 and 4. Small is good. So I think, that's why it's interesting, some of these early cases that could be his. Because he might have started to adjust what he felt more comfortable with over time. Anyways, the problems were DNA, tire marks, blood stains, fingerprints. So, obviously these are things you'd write down before your first one if you're really planning them out. Witnesses, trace source of supplies, foot, shoe prints, photos, misleaders. Well, see, that might be why you were reading Mine Hunters. So you can put some misleaders. Avoid a police stop. Truck. Don't get your truck stuck. And that means he's even saying I've got a truck right there, right? Oh, I've got a truck. Don't leave your fingerprints in gloves, so be aware of that. Throw it away, the gloves. So wearing the gloves keeps your fingerprints from getting on an item in the environment. But then on the inside of the gloves, you might leave your own fingerprint inside if you didn't discard of the gloves. So he's got to make sure to put that in there. Plastic bags match. So problems that plastic bags match to box. So don't buy any plastic bags that are somehow able to be tracked back to a box, maybe in your own home. Or maybe get rid of the box itself. For every one of his killings, what he's probably saying here is just grab enough bags as you're going to need and throw the other box away with the bags somewhere. Like in a dumpster, you would buy a whole box of, heavy-duty bags, grab all that you need, and then throw the rest of them away. Even I would do it, if I was him, beforehand, right? Like you would do it beforehand, and then go do what you're going to go do, right? Because but then you'd say, well, what if you needed one more bag? Well, he probably planned out what he would need. And we're at one of those massive lulls again. God, I'm going to have to be mean to somebody, so you throw me in prison or something. And then the supplies, booties, lye or acid for decomposition, police scanner. Not really sure what value that has. Maybe just to avoid, there happen to be police in an area, but it just doesn't seem very valuable for what he was doing. Rope and cord, and a couple of those victims that we discussed tonight from 1982-ish were strangled with rope or cord or something like that. Wear a hairnet so you don't leave your hair at the scene, but you forgot that your hair gets all over the blankets. Photo film, burn can, supplies. So a burn can. So you have a can, you can put stuff in and burn it. Probably your gloves, things like that. So you need photo film. So that's interesting, isn't it? So that means he took photographs of what he was doing. Because why else would you need that? Foam drain cleaner. So that must be after you've rinsed the blood of your victims down your drain, you wanted to buy something like that. And then body wash wipes to clean yourself off of, and maybe even the victim of your DNA off of them. Tarps, drop cloths. Oh, okay. Come on, JJ. What the hell are you talking about, man? What are you doing? What's going on, JJ? Hey, I can't believe it. I suck at pretending. I bet those pictures are somewhere No way you got rid of them all. Right. I have a feeling, though, if I was in prison, I would languish in there. To jail you go, she said. All right, well, we'll give it a shot. We'll see how it goes. But man, it's not looking pretty. There we go. He's in prison, and the dog photo is just a still shot from the other day. The camera isn't active. Hey, it's a good photograph anyways. So I'm now in prison. How do we get out of here? Brian Koberger prep trim eyebrows. Get in there, you bastard. That's right. Get in there, you bastard. I'm just trying to get things going. JJ did. Thanks, Georgina Stoliker. And you got, what is that, a chicken pot pie? Still no bail. That's just a chicken pot pie there. Yeah. If you aren't broke like me, get Gray out of jail, Chicken Wing said. Yeah, well, I'm just trying to keep things rolling along here for the month. We're way behind last month already, so. Hey, thanks, MM, for... You got me roller skates and a globe? Look at that, MM and JJ. Are you guys part of a club of some sort? All right, we're just about to be able to get out the door. You got me a rock hammer. They cost money though, Veruca Salt. I don't see a rock hammer. Yeah, I don't know why I would need roller skates. Maybe it makes me go quicker down the road. Or maybe just to have fun. I don't know. Would an inmate need roller skates? I don't know. I got a golden ticket. Hey, thanks, Kristen. That looks like the same, your picture there looks like the same ball that MM put on the screen there. All right, that'll get me out of there. Oh, and Donna D. There now I can get an Uber to the hotel. All right. If anybody wants to help get me a nice hotel room later, that'd be great too. Wendy Van Rokel's got me a Snicker bar I can eat in the car while I'm taking Donna D's Uber. And then we got a slice of cheese from Ivan Victor. Let's see, we got Georgina Stoliker, MM with roller skates and a... Oh yeah, that's like 1970s. There you go. Disco. And then JJ, who put me in prison. Kristen, got a golden ticket. Donna D, Wendy Van Rokel, and Ivan Victor. All right. I'll just use a sleeping bag or something. All right. But anyways, the book that he's saying, so let's keep going through. Hairnet, photo film, burn can, foam, drain cleaner, body wash, tarps, medical gloves, bags, tapes, large electrical clips. And by the way, now we made some progress there. Hey, look at it. It's Emily Flotilla with some honey buns. All right. And Gnome Gnome. I like that name for some reason. It's gnome. Didn't we do that one case, gnome? Didn't we like talk a long time ago? There was that one indigenous. Whatever happened to that thing? That case. It just sort of disappeared. It got kind of weird. Bags, tapes, large electrical clips, and ratchet cargo strap. A ratched cargo strap. So that's probably, he's going to use that on the table, I bet. By strapping down his victim on the table. I mean, this guy is right out of Dexter. I bought it. Sweet one. So at least I bought the Mindhunter book. The first edition. I'm not sure when it'll get here, but I want to check it out. I also bought the recent version of that on Audibles. For Apology Dog Treats. Well, thanks, Sandy Shirley. How did they die strangled? Oh, how did they die strangled? Who? Yeah, I mean, most of his victims were died by being strangled. Hey, Alex, oh yeah, you must be in Australia. Or, no, you're in Europe, and it's already tomorrow. Still Sunday here, but yes, Monday over there. Thank you, Alex. For Apology Dog Treats. Alex. Happy Monday, Gray and Freaks. She's never been found. All missing people fades into the background. Yeah. Well, that's their issue. They could trust the police, but I think they're taught as kids not to trust them. I get so tired of that whole thing. You know, that's unfortunate, but just is what it is. Yeah, wasn't it like 4 in the morning over there on Monday? Yeah, exactly. You could easily, Russian Aloha could have easily, Russian Aloha said, he could easily have overpowered them so easily, so easy. What are you smoking in that picture? Especially how tiny they were and how huge he is. Right. Hey, we're at 80% now. All right. Thanks, Esther M, for a bag of Skittles sour candy to ease the pain. I do love sour candy. Just thinking about it makes me happy. But I gotta quit eating garbage. I packed on a couple extra pounds lately. More than a couple, like 10, 15 or something. It just sucked. Too much cake and cookies and just... anyway. A joint. Okay. All right. Happy Monday, Gray and Freaks. All right, then dump site. So look at when you go to the Mill Road, don't you think it's pretty interesting that here's Mill Road right here. Let me turn roads on. Mill Road is right in this area. I'm trying to remember exactly which one it is. Mill Road. Yeah, there it is. Okay, I guess it's Mill Road on this side. Oh, well, I thought that was Mill Road, but it didn't pop up like that. So look where Mill Road is here. And then you have Valerie Mack right there and Jessica Taylor right there. And then you also have a male body found over here. We don't know who these are. And another one found right over here. And so we don't really know if they're connected to Heuermann. These two are. Valerie Mack is going to be one of Heuermann's. As a matter of fact, they mention, let's go see where those are mentioned in here. So it says right here, in this one, analysis of these devices has revealed Heuermann's significant collection of violent bondage and torture pornography currently dating back to 1994, which is a year after hold on, what's the one victim? After Castilla. The pornographic images accessed by Heuermann include, but are not limited to, breast mutilation, vaginal torture, sex substitution, i.e. penetration with an object, the sexualization of decapitated women, bondage, and whipping, which notably and largely coincide with how the remains of Castilla and Jessica Taylor and Valerie Mack were discovered. So that might have been something he was doing before. So let's read that again. So they were found, sexualization of decapitated women, bondage, and whipping, which notably and large. So they were whipped and had bondage. So you're saying, yeah, that's right. Cassandra Castilla wasn't she found? I don't remember. Was she not? She wasn't found part, right? I think she was found by her. Maybe she wasn't. Man, I can't remember now. No, she was right here. Her body was found. So maybe in her case, we do have this all on newspapers.com. Let's see, November 22nd, 1993. Let's see. The Suffolk County Police Homicide Squad is investigating the death of an unidentified woman whose partially clothed body was discovered in the woods in North Sea Saturday. 2 hunters found the body about 12:40. They called Southampton police. Police said the body had been in the woods a few days and they suspect foul play. Police estimated that the woman was in her 20s. The body was taken to the office of Suffolk County Medical Examiner. I think that might be Baden at the time. I don't know. The body of the partly clothed woman found in Southampton Woods Saturday has been identified as that of Sandra Castilla, 28, but police yesterday said they need help in finding her family and acquaintances to learn more about her. Police said Castilla's last known address was on Gates Avenue in Ridgewood, Queens. But that information was about a year old, and the people now living at the address said they didn't know Castilla. Till somebody who cares about her comes forward, that's what we're stuck with, Detective Lieutenant John Girris, commander of Suffolk Homicide Squad, said. We don't have any recent address on her, nor do we have any information on where her family may be. Girris said Castilla, whose body was discovered in North Sea, was strangled and might have been raped. We don't know whether she was killed right there or someplace else and dumped there, he added. Castilla had been arrested last year for jumping a subway turnstile. Girris said detectives matched her fingerprints with those found in police records. So she might, if he had cut her hands off in that one, see, that's where he learned that. That's what we were talking about. He read this article right here, and he was like, oh, shit. They were able to identify her on her hands. So after that, he learned, and he started cutting the hands off of other victims. You see that? I mean, that's just so clear. And that's what he would do. He would learn from his, different times, and that's maybe why he even bought that book. What do you guys think? Don't you think that that's really obvious at that point? Right there, they said they identified her with fingerprints. Now he's a little bit nervous because maybe somehow that would lead to him. So then later on he starts cutting off hands and heads and so forth. As a matter of fact, I think both Valerie Mack and Jessica Taylor, that's exactly how they were. See, that's what you get on this channel, you guys. Thinking through things a little bit. Not just sort of spouting out crap and, hey, everybody, look at me. I've got lists and charts. You know, I think it's just, this is one of those cases where I think there's a lot of little Easter eggs in there. Like crazy things that you just look at. If you look at it again, especially this list here, it actually tells you stuff. Let me see if we do Castilla. Do they explain in here? No, it's Castilla. Yeah. Castilla. As noted, super based on the past arrest with witness Gilgo homicide. Approximately 2 months before Miss Castilla's disappearance and murder, witness 3 moved out of the target residence. Right. Now that's her hair was on on Castilla, the victim. I mean, that's so amazing. You know, like everywhere he lived, he brought one of the hairs from the house to the crime scene. How remains newly discovered digital evidence, notably the largely coincides with how the remains of Sandra Castillo and Jessica Taylor and Valerie Mack. See, but she wasn't decapitated. So maybe they're referring to bondage, whipping, which notably and largely coincides with the remains of Sandra Castillo, Jessica Taylor, and Valerie Mack. Moreover, during the analysis of a hard drive recovered from the basement of Heuermann's residence, the Gilgo Homicide Task Force recently discovered a Microsoft Word document entitled, and that's the one with the HK 2002 to 2004, which is, you know, the Castilla case probably taught him a little bit. And then he started being a little bit less reckless. Yeah, so the dump sites, Mill Road. That's the one we just showed you a second ago. That's Valerie Mack and Jessica Taylor. And then dump site 2 with question marks. And then maybe a dumpster site, you know, where you could throw some other things in. And where those are at. Next time, recon dumpster location. So, you know, for the next time. See, what's when you get out of these things is he's right. He's going to go again. You know, he's not sitting around going, you know, this is the last time. This is like a document that he's preparing for future and the next time, and really just trying to, you know, come up with his craft. You know, basically, he's literally trying to perfect this thing. But he screwed up. I think what he screwed up on the most about was the fibers and hairs. Like he was using blankets and crap from his own house, or, you know, absolutely not being careful, because every single one of the cases that they've tied to him had either his or his wife or his daughter's hair on them, or even like one of them was the ex. I mean, hell, you can see it right here. It's a really interesting. I think it's one of the most sort of important pieces of this document here is this one right here. It's crazy. Look at this. Here, I'll get rid of my goal thing. And thank you, Donna D. Hey, we're only 30 short of the goal, you guys. Will we get there? Pretty amazing. All right, Sandra Castillo had a male hair, and they found a male hair on her, and they got it from tape. This is one of the hairs. So they found a male hair and a female hair. The male hair, turns out, we'll just go to the far right, doesn't really matter. The mitochondria was their prior investigation, but hair now, you can actually get the nuclear SNP DNA result. So the hair that they found on Sandra Costello was 4, 347, and then 329 zeros to 1 that it was somebody else, which means mathematically there is no chance at all that it isn't Rex Heuermann. See, it even has the name. Look at it right there. Rex Heuermann's hair was found on Sandra Costello. It's absolutely amazing that they stored it all those years. Hey, thanks, Donna D, for gifting a membership to Mary Hart, the legend. She was on a wrestling show I was watching. It was amazing. Oh, wait, that was the other guy. That was Bret Hart. Never mind. Sandra... just kidding. Welcome, Mary Hart. Sandra Costello. They also found a female hair on her. Guess whose that was? That was Rex Heuermann's roommate that left 3 months before the homicide in 1993. Wow. That might have been his wife, actually. Ex-wife. How crazy is that? Then Jessica Taylor. They found a male hair. Guess what? It was 1, 837, and then 600 zeros after it. A number that does not even exist, really. You can't say it. I mean, like, what is the number? It's ridiculous. Billion, trillion, quadrillion, those have like 15, 18, 21 zeros. This is 600 to 1. Right. Then Maureen Brainerd Barnes. They found a female hair, and that turns out it was Rex Heuermann's wife, and it was 7.9 trillion to 1. So you'd have to have something like, there's about 8 billion people on the planet Earth. So that would mean you'd have to find 1,000 planet Earths that seem similar, that have the exact same DNA structure, and possibly there'd be one person out of all those other 1,000 planet Earths that would be a match. So you're saying there's a chance? No, I'm not. Megan Waterman had 3 different hairs. She had 2 female hairs on Waterman, so first of 2, and then she had the second of 2. Both the hairs found on Megan Waterman were his wife. It's funny how you get different percentages, so maybe you get a little bit better results for the hair sample in terms of the the sequencing, because it's the same hair. It looks like Asa Ellerup. This one is 10 with 48 zeros. This one's 10 with 480, which is really 477 and 45 if you just add that to the front of it. Then also they found a male hair on Megan Waterman too. And guess what? That was Rex Heuermann's. Absolutely his. Then Amber Costello, she had a female hair, and that was the daughter of Rex Heuermann, Victoria Heuermann. Isn't that amazing? So, man, yeah, he didn't do very well on the fiber control. Now it sounds like I'm talking about Metamucil, but it wasn't. Yeah, so we go back down to here. Pre-prep. I think that's, do you think that's vehicle inspection? The VECH. I mean, it's kind of a weird. And then engage the target. So call the target up. I don't know. What do you think that VEC means? Good night, Ginger Keys. Well, we had one gifted membership, so we're really only about 25 short of the nightly goal. Riggin DS, locate DS, dump site. So what do you guys think VEC, V-E-C-H means? It's probably vehicle, right? Maybe you meant to have V-E-H and then C and then kind of transpose it or something. And then engage the target, like get a hold of the sex worker, call her up on the phone. And then after you do that, find a dump site, because now you got your target. Now you want to find a dump site that makes sense for the target. Then locate a secondary dump site, I guess. And then check out the weather for that day. And then, let's see, look for video cameras in the area where you're going to be. And then recon, pick zone for video cameras. So I guess what he's saying is, after you see where the video cameras are, I think that's probably pickup zone. So recon where you're going to pick her up for video cameras. Right. So basically you look for where the video cameras are and then plan on picking her up in a place where there isn't one. Set up stage. So this part's just creepy as hell right here. So set up a stage, the holding area, for like a place that you can just put her while you're waiting, or whatever. It's just crazy. Holding area, and then build a table. Put a crossbar with a crossbar so it's really sturdy and hard. Wow, thanks, Donna D. Jeez. Well, there we go. There we go. Maybe I'll just give 5 memberships away. Anyways, even though it's normally after we get to 300, but you guys are so cool to do that on a Sunday night. Might as well. Gift 5. There we go. And who's going to get these? I'm looking over at my control panel and I'm still in jail because it's way behind. All right, who got him? Who got him? We've got Luminous Grin, Will Warren, Yorkshire T, TTJO Tracy. Man, I haven't seen you in a million years. And Laura, are you still even watching TTJO Tracy? You've gotten, I wonder if you're just still signed up over here, because I haven't seen you in like months, but you keep getting memberships. Well, thanks, JJ. A lot of people don't think that way, though. They think they don't like it. They don't like me or my personality. I mean, I got an email. Did I tell you that one that I got earlier today? Here, I'll read what it said. You can tell me if you know. Where the hell was it? Is it that one? Yeah. She said, I love seeing your latest guest appearance on Court TV. I hope you will take this moment and turn it into something positive. I always wish you the best, but you always seem to undermine yourself. One day, I hope you see that fans just need you to treat us with respect, like other successful YouTube creators treat their fan base. Just provide good content, don't berate your fans, and we'll stick around. God. I berate the fans in here? I mean, that's ridiculous. I don't know where people's brains are. I mean, there's nights where people will say something and I'll go, oh, God, that's ridiculous. But the only people that ever get anything like that are the absolute wacko trolls. Yeah, I think she was actually being a troll. When you email something like that, you're being passive aggressive. It's ridiculous. It's like, what is your point? on sending somebody an email like that. I'm sure the trolls, oh yeah, wow, I agree, ooh, 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 ooh. But you're always wrong, trolls. That's the thing. I haven't been verbally active these past few. Jam. I remember you. Yeah, cool. It's awesome. Anyways, if you feel like I berate you or whatever, I apologize if you get that feeling, but I'm not intentionally trying to berate somebody. And like if you come in and you're a troll, sure, I'm going to say something, and it's the response that you get that determines something. I'm not going to be one of the like the pushover types where you just sit there and go, oh God, I don't want to lose a sub or something. I gotta pretend I'm able to be nice because even though you're just a total wacko, I'm gonna. Yeah, forget it. Oh, come on, Gnome. Maybe it was mean. It wasn't mean. Like, just like 2 seconds. Was that when you wanted to call in or something, or what? What? I don't know. It was somebody that I've seen a long time ago. That's who it was from. Not somebody I know. Like, she hasn't been here for a million years. And it's okay. It's okay, But what's weird is you'll take this moment. What moment? I've been on court TV like 15 or I don't even know how many times now. Like a lot of times. Did you miss those? How come you didn't email me on those and say, hey, take this moment? Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. That's right, Georgina Stoliker. That's right. That's how it works. I could obviously be better at times. I misread the chat often. I think somebody's saying something, and I don't have time to go back up and read it, and I make mistakes. What people were saying, and definitely do that. I'm just a regular human being. Yeah, I think I've been on court TV for 4 different cases over the years, but they have me on a lot for Stephen Stern's Madeline Soto case a lot. I still have a lot to say yet. I'd love to see the documents, like after the trial's over, what comes out in the trial. Yeah. Yeah, Truth Sleuths, she said she was she left becoming a member because I was mean. Oh, there goes my stomach. Yeah. You're learning to refresh my memory when I make comments so you don't misunderstand my... refresh my memory, huh? Yeah, me before, but you apologize. I didn't get upset. Yeah, there's times where I just totally mess up on what they were saying. I thought it was something totally different. It's hard because when I do my shows, I'm not staring at the chat like other creators do. That's all they do the whole show. They just look at the chat the whole time. I'm actually going over stuff. So that's pre-prep. I wonder why they call it that. So this is just all stuff you're going to do. And then the prep itself is set up the stage, holding area, build a table, a very sturdy table. And then after the event, murder, destroy the file. So he must build a file on each of his victims. That's crazy, right? Yeah, that's weird. Then he changes his tires. just weird when you read this. There's implications made by what he's saying, right? Destroy the file. That means he makes files on them. Then he needs to change his tires each time because there might be tires tracks left. And then burn the gloves. So that means he's wearing gloves each time he does these killings. He's just like Koberger. And then dispose of pictures. Now, are those recon pictures, or are these pictures you took at the crime? I mean, like, as the crime was going, but then why would you dispose of them? Were the pictures merely taken as part of the shock value in your torture? Like, you're taking pictures and going, look at you right here. I mean, what are these pictures here, you guys? Have story set. What do you guys think that means? I mean, that's creepy. Dispose of the pics. What pics? I mean, he's almost like he's taking pictures and then showing them directly to the victim. And then, okay, that's just part of his gig, and then throw, you know. And then, okay, the notes down here. Spur of the moment, cover, Stockholm Syndrome. These are all from the book Mindhunter. The more you do, the more clues you give. Look at the painting. And what that means is look at the painting, meaning that's in the investigative portion. So this is where I think he's using Mindhunter to throw police off by looking at, he wants to make a painting that doesn't really match who he is. Because the profile is used by, you know, these FBI profilers. They go through and they try to figure out, based on the crime scene, what this person is like. So I think Heuermann is reading Mindhunter and trying to counter what they would come up with by tricking them and using various things. I mean, what a perfect way to do that. You read Mindhunter, you see what they're looking for and what it means, so you know who you are, and so you're going to make the crime scene look like a different type of a person than you are. I think that's pretty. That's actually pretty smart tactic, to be honest with you. There. So mean. Gnome. Are you crying over there? No, that's not what he was. Yeah, maybe something like that. I'm just saying. I think he's using the book to change up, you know, make it look like it's not him. Like it would never lead to him. They're not going to say, "Oh, this guy he's probably an architect type. He does this and he does that," and, you know, some crap like that. Look at the painting. Why not? Organized versus disorganized. Page 162, sex substitution, PG. Page 163, all by itself. And recon reports. Video cameras on lie route. What does that mean? Video cameras on lie route 112 to route 110. Video cameras on that's probably Long Island something or other. Expressway. So video cameras on Long Island Expressway Route 112 to Route 110. Then video cameras on, I don't know if it's Suffolk County, something Parkway Route 231 to exit 30. And then Target 1 information. So it's interesting to have these cell phone numbers in here. They go to other people now, but man, this would have been crazy if this just happened a year ago and we got that cell number and then I could put it on that website and it would have, you know, had some information on it. Body prep, wash the body inside and all the cavities. Man, I'm just trying to, how is he doing this? Remove trace evidence, fingerprints, hair. So maybe use the wipes and all that crap, and then I don't know what he did for internal. Remove trace DNA, remove ID marks, tattoos, marks, remove marks from torture. So remove ID marks, tattoo marks. So on his early victims, or some of the people like Peaches, you could see the tattoo, right? And then I think on this later one, the tattoos were, kind of chopped up or just, made it look like you couldn't see them, right? So he realized tattoos, he's trying to get rid of all things that lead to identifying somebody. Because he got busted on, well, he didn't get busted, but Costello was identified by her fingerprints. She probably didn't have any tattoos, or maybe she did. He wasn't thinking about those things. And so he's learning each time. And then he saw in the papers that they were looking for somebody named Peaches, or, that had a Peaches tattoo. And he knows that was his victim. So then later on, he starts destroying the tattoos, removing their hands, and trying to, dispose of the hands and the head in a different location. I mean, that's kind of dumb, too. Like, if you're removing the hands and the head, wouldn't you find a place where, literally nobody will ever find the head and hands ever again? You don't care if they find the torso at that point. Says, remove trace DNA, remove ID marks, tattoo marks, remove marks from torture. So if it looked like she was being tortured, try to remove those marks. Remove head and hands. There you go. Right there. Remove head and hand. I mean, look how he's typing this stuff in like it's just sort of package for transport. So now he's going to put the head and the hands in bags. And that one case that we talked about earlier today, there was I don't know if it's his, but it was the arm and leg. Both arm and leg of both sides were put into two different bags. So like the left arm and the left leg put in a bag, the right arm and the right leg put it in a bag, and then the torso, which was still connected to the head, was put into another plastic bag, which doesn't make any sense for this. That seems more like just transportation, but that would have been 1980 something. So he probably divided up so it was just enough weight for him to be able to carry the bag, but those are 3 bags. And that was like 1983 or so. And was that him? We don't know. Could be. And package for transport. Then dispose the following. Tools and devices. Hold on a second. I mean, I could go over this thing 100 times. It seems like every time you go over it, it's like you find something. Yeah. Let's see. Dispose of the following tools and devices. T1, clothes and personal items. We already did that. Oh, wait. No, that's it. Dispose of the following tools and devices. And then also throw away the clothing of the victim and any personal items that there were. Get rid of the drop cloths that you use to minimize the blood in the house, I guess. Get rid of the wipes and towels you use to clean everything up. Get rid of the props you were using and the toys and the, all the things you bought just for this. So that, what's weird about this shit is he had like a dossier, it sounds like, on each of his victims. And he probably sat there and went out and shopped and just fantasized about it, bought the different items he was going to use, the props, the toys, the drop cloths. He got a new thing of wipes. He got the, all these different things ready because he was just so excited. And then that's what this guy was doing. He had the little document on each person, and he went and bought all these things. Anything that touched the victim, what he is wearing. Throw that away too. So he bought clothes just for it, because he wouldn't want his wife and other people to go, well, hey, what happened to that one set of clothes? Something would be missing. So he probably went out and, with cash, bought some thrift store bull crap, wore it for this, and then he would throw it away. Destroy book. And so I guarantee you that that book is the Mindhunter book, because he used it it was in the notes for this planning here. He got rid of it. He threw away the Mindhunter book. And get rid of the computer files. So that must mean these. I mean, it's talking about this right here. Like, hey, get rid of these things. Then burn the gloves that you were wearing. Dispose of box of plastic bag. He said of plastic bass. Plastic bass. But I think he meant plastic bags. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Dispose of the box of plastic bags to avoid trace. See? I told you he would throw away the box with the plastic bags. Man, I'm thinking like a serial killer now. Ooh.
5 brain cells, 4 aren't working.
Yeah, things to remember. Sound travels, i.e. bird outside. Control the amount of air in and out, meaning have your windows shut, put stuff around so you can't hear outside, or you can't hear from the outside in. And most of all, get some sleep before the hunt, because if you're too tired, it creates problems. And you know what? Based on all the other times, I'm gonna try to talk like this is him. Yeah. So what I'm gonna say like that? God, you remember that last time? It was so loud. I need a way to control the sound, so I gotta make sure to seal up those windows. And man, that one time I was up so late, I was so tired. I was starting to slip a little bit, making some mistakes. And also that one time, it took too many blows to knock the person out. So I got to hit harder, and I don't want it to take too many hits. So I got to hit really hard to the face or neck, to take that person down quickly. And another benefit of me getting more sleep is more playtime. And if I can keep the sound down and they're not making too much noise that's exposing me, and I had more sleep, boy, I could have so much more playtime. Oh, and also use push pins to hang up the drop cloths, because I think if I use tape, my fingerprint might be on the tape, and I just want to easily be able to take it down and dispose of the drop cloth. So if I had the tape on there, when I remove the drop cloth, likely I wouldn't remember, and the tape would still be stuck to the drop cloth, and then I would throw it somewhere and my fingerprint would be on that duct tape. So just use push pins and then pull off the push pins, put them in your pocket, and then throw away the drop cloth, and then throw away the push pin somewhere. Take down, pick up, hunt. If you have to hunt too long, and you're seen in the area too long, take down, pick up. Hunt too long, seen in the area too long. Remember, don't charge for gas. Recon for video cameras in pickup area next time, which means there was a previous time, right? I mean, why wouldn't you do it on this one? So he must have put these notes down after he just completed a kill. Probably, maybe it was Jessica Taylor. But you know what's interesting? Like the 2002 to 2004 notes. Why does he even put that there? What was going on? Let's see. Rex Heuermann, Jessica Taylor. So Jessica Taylor was November 12th. That's when she was in the paper anyways. Let's see. Autopsy results Tuesday on a badly found early south of. Yeah, so 2003. So where are the kills in 2002? Yeah, I was going to say that. Like on the murder of the 90 murder, the biggest bust in the case. The DNA is the whole case. It wouldn't even matter any of these other things anymore. For example, I think it's God, you know, with all these pins on there now, it's confusing. I think it was not Barnes. Hold on. I think it's right over here. Yeah, right here. Amber Costello. Like, that was a huge case in terms of just, remember how he drove over there and then it was a ruse where Amber and the boyfriend, or the John, like, said, hey, he's here, and then, but she got paid already, and then he drove away, but then he contacted her again later, and she showed up because she felt like she owed him something. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, travels to West Babylon, and so that whole thing, and they knew what kind of car he had, and it was this really big guy, etc. So Amber Costello's homicide documentation is the best of any of the other one, of all of them. Like, there's a lot of stuff that was going on prior, and it really points directly to him. And I think Amber, doesn't her phone ping over at his house? Let me get that date again over here. It was 9/2, right? So let me go over here. Oh, I'm in the wrong place. It's right there. Yeah, Costello contacted by burner at 11:33 p.m. on 9/1, and then 9/2, 10:39, and 11:05 p.m. burner contacts Costello again. So all those things line up with Costello over here. I think it was like the next day, right? So it was 9/2. Yeah, I don't remember the exact. We might have to go over that first document. Remember the first probable cause that came out on the first 4? Should we go over that one again pretty soon? Like tomorrow again? I don't know. I'm finding it incredibly interesting all of a sudden. It's like way more interesting now. I think what makes it more interesting is Costello. You got 1993. That opens up a massive range, and then you start wondering, okay, well, how many more are there, and trying to find those. Do you guys want me to go over that again? Because I think it'd be more interesting now. Don't you feel like? Because now we're a little bit more familiar with the case and just kind of going through it. And I think that added to the stuff that we're seeing now, I think it'd be interesting to kind of have this document open, this stuff here sitting on the side as we're going through the original documents that came out. Let's do it. All right. All right. I think it'd make it. I think if we have this sitting up, and every once in a while we stop and go, oh, look at that. And see, this is before those killings, most of them. Almost all the ones on the original document, I believe, are, let's see. It's actually this one right here, I think. It's 32 pages long. Let's see if it's the one. It should have pictures of him on his getting cell phones and crap like that. Now, these are things he searched for, just crazy stuff. Oh yeah, there's a selfie or his getting stuff. Remember these? I think it'll be awesome. And there's a garbage can, the pizza they got DNA off of. There's also maps, I think. Yeah, right here. And it shows the actual GPS location. I have those already. Yeah, right here it talks about where his phone pinged and everything. So yeah, I think that'd be good. Good stuff. So, is that a yes? You guys want to go over that tomorrow or what? So I think I'm done for the evening. I'm tired. I did the whole day getting all those documents in a text file, going through each of the cases again. I think I'll make a video tomorrow on those earlier cases. I think that might be interesting to people to wonder about. You know, a couple of them seem more likely than the others, but you never know. I mean, Heuermann was only, 19, 20, 18, 19, 20, 21 during those ones that I have. So, all right. Maybe I'll change the title that says, at least people will know that we talked about Heuermann basically the whole time. Let's see. The Gray Zone. Rex Heuermann. Let's see. Gilgo, Beach, LISK, Heuermann. All right. I think that's right. H-E-U... No. H-E-U-R... H-E-U-E-R. That's right. H-E-U-E-R. I knew I spelled that right. H-E-U-E-R-M-A-N-N. H-E-U-E-R-M-A-N-N. Cool. All right. Anyways, thank you to... Let's see, Paulette Leonard, and then U.S. Patriot Lady, 8 months member, thank you. Jessica Schubach, Wendy Van Rokel, Michelle H., Brinnis Bratt, M.M., Love the Sun 100, Pancakes, Esther M., Yabba Dabba Doo, Donna D., E. Moore, and K-Me, and Donna D., and a special thanks to Donna D tonight. She had multiple super chats. I'm taking off, Zozo. Been a long day. JJ, Sarah 67, Richard Watts, Live Free or Die, 36 months, Delaney, Michelle H, E. Moore, new member, Ivan Victor, Peter, JJ, MM, Gnome Gnome. Oh, and also Gnome Gnome. Thank you. Gnome Gnome was a little, had a special super chats tonight, especially when I actually I didn't even hear her, or she didn't hear me, and I'm glad she didn't hear me because she sent 20 in saying, repeating something. That was good. Wasn't intentional, but Gnome Gnome and Little Puppy Paws, the Gnome Gnome again, Georgina Stoliker, MM, JJ, Kristen, Donna D again, Wendy Van Rokel, Ivan Victor, Emily Flotilla, Never Illa, then Gnome Gnome again, and Sandy Shirley, Alex, Esther M, Donna D again, and then she gifted a membership, and then Donna D again got us to the goal. And then I gifted 5 memberships, and then Gnome Gnome said, "You're so mean." You. Yeah. Anyways, I am here, everybody. No, the phone lines are not open. Yeah. I thought that was pretty interesting every time you go over this, because you kind of, if you just look at it, he's talking about he got rid of the Mindhunter book. He talks about everything he's doing. It's calculated. He used the Mindhunter book, I think, to try to throw law enforcement off of a person like himself. And maybe even got some tactical, that would necessarily advise him tactically as well. But hey, all right, thanks everybody. We'll see you guys later. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6.
Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a
And a
while
7
now.
and an 8 and a 9 and a
during
10
this
and
whole
11
time,
and
I
a
have
12.
not seen one person
Ah, shut up.
that is a
Gosh, Grant, that's very nice.
plug rejector,
You're so
certified
mean.
human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector.
Crime sector.
Is my
Ray is so mean. Ray is so mean. Ray is so mean, 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 mean. Ray is mean. Ray is meaner than a meanie, 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 mean. Meanie, meanie, miny, mo.
And I'm meaner than a spectre.
Ray's got a big toe. He's meaner, he's meaner, he's meaner, and he's slow. He doesn't know. He's got a show. It's gonna blow.
And I'll serve it to you straight without the
What do you mean it's gonna blow? How's my show gonna blow?
I'm gonna send you
What the hell are you
on a
talking
mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody?
All right, everybody. See you guys later. And be safe out there.
Good night, everybody. Gee.
Hey, that was pretty good, Mary Lou.
Thanks, Greg. Good night.